Network.
Our job is not to divide. Our job is to bring people together. If we do not allow them to divide us up by race, by sexual orientation, by gender, by not allowing them to divide us up by whether or not we were born in America or whether we're immigrants, we stand together. As white, black, and Hispanic, gay and straight, woman and man. When we stand together and demand that this country works for all of us rather than the few, we will transform America. And that is what this campaign is about. It's bringing people together. Morning, everybody. Get audio adjusted here. That is the point today. Together. That's if the America ad wasn't enough to make you cry, that one will. And that's why we're here. Good morning, everybody. It's a wonderful day. That's the Together ad, and it resolves to a URL, together.vote. Together.vote. And on that page, there's a whole bunch of great stuff. There's memes you can grab. There's video clips, other stuff. Beautiful ad. Share that. I think if there were any way to convert the 24% that are still watching establishment media, to get them to open their eyes, would be to have them watch that. Say, what do you see in the Hillary campaign? What do you see there? Watch this. It's beautiful. Good morning. Who do we have today? Scott's with me in the room here. How you doing, Scott? Scott's in the newsroom. Say hi. Great.
8 hours till the polls close.
8 hours, Scott, and we're gonna have a streamathon all day today. It's gonna be a blast. Look at everybody. Scott's looking great in there. It's been a while since we've seen him hanging out. Scott, how you feeling? How you doing? Everybody's been wondering.
I'm doing a lot better.
Excellent. And I believe we're going to have somebody covering the party tonight. I think Biff is going to try to get in there. I don't know if we've got some issues with credentials or what's going on. Have you heard anything?
He shouldn't have any trouble with credentials. It'll be the campaign, so.
Okay. So just so everybody knows, we're Scott's here with us today. Hopefully you'll be joining us in and out today. What are your plans, Scott? Just hang out?
Yeah, I'll be in and out throughout the day, and heading to Milwaukee Thursday for the debate there.
Awesome. Excellent. There's a really good chance for this next debate that's covered by PBS. Andrew Saturn in our volunteer group, and hey, I will get to all your names. Hey, everybody, I see you all in here. It's so nice to have you here. We have lots of people. What do we have? Mine, 94 people already, 126 playbacks. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. This is going to be a badass fun day. But Scott's here with me, and he's got great light. He's very sunny, bright today where Scott is. But what I wanted to tell you, Scott, is if we've got this the debate. It looks like we may have a stream from PBS that we may be able to carry, and we're actually talking to them about this just to secure full, it's gonna be okay. This may be one debate we can actually broadcast, folks. It would be a miracle, So that'll be fun. And Scott, you may be there bringing a spin room, bringing us coverage of everything else, right?
Yep, and Ryan will be there. We're having some credentialing issues as far as the spin room, but there'll probably be watch parties where Ryan can be reporting from.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Scott. And I know we've got a lot to talk about because all sorts of shit blowing up all over the web, all over mainstream media now. because you can't deny the truth when it's flashed all over the internet, when it's recorded on the internet. So let's say hi to everybody. Frederick Murphy, Brom, Jonathan, Jesse, Juliet, Lily, Alex, Paul, B, G. Chaponi, Judge for Bernie, RJK. Wow, we've got a lot of Steve Vermont, Mike, Michael Stapleton, Bad Wolf Time Lady. Hi, Nico. Good morning. Thanks for being in the chat. There's so many people here. This is so cool. This is so cool. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Yesterday was an incredible day. Today's going to be even more incredible. Vote together. The hashtag vote together is what we're all about. Yep, there it is. Hello, everybody. Hugs, love, and vote together. Remember, we haven't heard from Cornel West in a while, but this is the love train, folks. This is a love train. This is why we were trying to forget the angry rants. Angry rants are important, but we actually turn the tide. Like in a battle like this, where we sit in the campaign, where we sit in the battle movement, is in a different place. And now because the goal is to reach the people, right? Bomb them with truth. I think we have more of them listening than ever before. So if we go negative, if we go negative against the people that are now against Hillary, against the people that are voting for Hillary. If we get negative, and there's been some negativity going around, some stuff there, and we don't want that negativity. Even I have been negative in some ways, and I need to change that. I need to change it because this video is a reminder. This Together video is a reminder. Look, it's about love. We just need to bring that. There's 24% of the American population, predominantly 65 and older, but it does include conservative in all age groups. And what it is that's the people. There's 24% of the American public that watches establishment corporate media, and that's where they prefer to get their information. And we all know, hi everybody, we all know that that's not the truth. Now, they're freaking out right now, and they're actually starting to report things differently and report some truths, sort of. They don't know what to do because ratings are, it's a crazy thing. But the truth is, we need to reach that 24%. That 24%. But let's talk about the first most important thing today, which is this slide right here. I will be doing a streamathon later today, probably starting at noon. We'll run until polls close, until we have results, and then we'll sit there and all be happy. But this is what we're doing today, folks. Follow these accounts on Twitter. Make sure you're blasting everything you can that comes out of these accounts, following them. Hashtag vote together. There are memes. There are videos. There's all sorts of stuff that's been created by the campaign, created by the 99% to help do this. And the internet. This is no joke, folks. The internet is our battlefield. We own it. I say this every day. I say this all the time. Love you too, guys. Love you too. Hey, Steph. Go get some coffee. Yeah, I'm almost going to be done with coffee. And I understand that my rants are good. I appreciate that. But positive thinking. We're going to let what's his name from the Humanist Report? I forget his name. He's got a good rant today. We're going to run his rant. I've decided to pull some professional rants. So we're gonna pull in his rant. He does a great talk about Hillary Clinton and the emails and what it all means when we get to that stuff. So when I say positive, I want to clarify. Absolutely positive about bringing people. It's about belonging. Okay? It's about belonging. So anybody that's confused or misinformed or still voting for Hillary, that needs to understand why that's not a good idea. We want them to belong. Feel good. That does not mean that we will not use the truth as a weapon to attack Hillary Clinton. Attacking Hillary with the truth is different from when she claims it's a smear tactic or a smear campaign by Bernie Sanders. No, an attack ad, when it's not based in truth, is that an attack, and maybe an unbiased attack, right? But an attack ad, any kind of an attack that is simply a statement of truth, is nothing more than that. And if it comes as an attack to Hillary, then the truth hurts. That's exactly where that statement came from. So we'll look into that, but we're gonna talk about that in a minute here. There were just so many. I don't know how much time you guys spend on Twitter, but now I spend my time either there or here or in that's basically it, in Slack, online with you guys, in Twitter, because that's the main arsenal that we use.
Maybe confront is a better word than attack.
Confront. I like that. That's good, Scott. I like that. Confront. When we confront Hillary Clinton with the truth, when we confront our combatant, I don't know what to call it, because I put this kind of like in an Axis versus Allies framing, Scott. Because yesterday we ran the Hitler clip, and it was. You remember that Hitler clip from that little scenario, that meme that's been going around forever, where they changed the subtitles and it's Hitler just freaking out, last days of the war or whatever. You seen that going around?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh! Go look at the beginning of yesterday's show. We opened with it. It's hilarious, but we are sitting in an Axis and Allies kind of scenario with Donald Trump as the Hitler, actually. But the truth of the matter is that it pointed out yesterday, and this I didn't really get to this, but that video was done in October. In October, Bernie Sanders really wasn't. Hillary was in the lead in all the polls. Bernie Sanders was rising on the internet, but mainstream media was ignoring it in October. Nobody was talking about what's going on with Bernie Sanders in internet. They were ignoring everything that was happening there. So it's even more wonderful to have played that clip today and just go, don't underestimate at all the power and the value of what every one of you has done for liking a post, sharing a post, making your own post, creating a meme, any being here right now. This is the stuff that mainstream media, and it's a wonderful time for that to pop up. This is the stuff that they can't duplicate. This is what the campaign cannot do. They cannot create people in this kind of a movement to do these things. They can't. That's why they're losing. That's why they're desperate. That's why Bill Clinton's freaking out and starting to literally go back to high school name-calling tactics with Bernie Sanders. That's why they're so out of touch. I mean, that's why 81-year-old Madeleine Albright or whatever is, saying this shit that had she been in touch with the internet, had she known where the people are, where the power of the people is, it's on the internet. You guys delivered massively. We got to keep delivering. That's our job today, is to cheer on New Hampshire, to vote together so that we can save this planet. Bill McKibben, beautiful article about that. We're going to get to that. I just want to show you some of my favorite things from yesterday. If you didn't see the concert, we had this concert, and I don't even remember. Was that concert yesterday, Scott, or was it the day before? I so lose track. It was a concert yesterday. Today, beautiful concert. Beautiful concert. Here's let me stop talking for a second. I want to read some comments. I saw a lot of the comments coming through that were great. I just want to read some of these. Hi, everybody. Hi, Eric. Duke. Kristen, hi. Dio Frater. Robin. The Bernie Bros thing, I haven't got a clip. I see Bernie Bro come through there. They do live in an echo chamber. There was Bernie or bust. There were some hashtags coming out last night that were really cracking me up. Bowls for Bernie. Burn for Bernie. Burn one for Bernie. I was all over that. And then somebody posted, and we posted up there that said, if the whole world would just smoke a bowl, we'd have peace for like 20 minutes. I'm a big advocate of cannabis for a number of reasons: medical, recreational, and that's a discussion for one other time. But it really is true, and I think the world pretty much knows that. And I still watch a lot of mainstream entertainment television, folks. Hey, Pat, how you doing, Pat? March will be huge, big, yes, fucking A. That deserves. Thank you, Robin Morris. That deserves a statement before we actually talk about the real news and get on to things I know we're going to talk about. Holy shit! The band Big Data. New big fan. Okay, I've discovered two new awesome musical acts. Killer Mike and Run the Jewels. Great shit. And Big Data, I'd heard one of their tunes, and I'm sure it's the one big tune that they've been playing on the radio over and over again because I'm an old guy and I'm listening to the top 40s. But, holy shit! Scott, this goes back to, here, let's go on. This goes back to my last point in the show. Scott, I was like, I'm reading Scott the rundown, and he's like, okay, whatever. The last piece of the rundown is the 80s are back. Folks, the 80s are back. My sweater, the music, the way we care about each other, without all the hidden, racism and all this stuff. But in general, my era, my 20s, my teens is back, and I'm very thrilled about that. Yeah, room hug, everybody, wonderful. Okay, so now on to actual news. This is I was asking this earlier. Do you guys do you ever go to Twitter and you click on the trends? I mean, I'm always looking at the trends on Twitter because anytime you see Hillary Clinton's name come up or Bernie's name come up, you got to see what's on the main screenshot. So I didn't want to get the whole screenshot because there was a lot going on here, but this was late last night, and what you can see here is there's a good article up there by CNN Money. Under Sanders, income and jobs would soar, economists say. And that article's been pushed around, and I'll have to grab it. We'll talk about it tomorrow or something, or maybe later on in the streamathon. But it's underneath. Look at these pictures. This is a statement by Ben Jealous. This is an anti-establishment card. All of this stuff is Bernie. Bernie. And that capture right down there with the American flag holding up in the air, that's just one of the best quotes ever. And that's from Caitlin Johnson last night. I captured that. It was coming through. C-SPAN couldn't avoid this magic. And that's just, it's true. If you weren't with us last night, C-SPAN was going to carry it. And then they decided to push it back. And then they pushed it back more. And then they pushed it back more. And then they pushed it back and basically said, fuck you, we're not even going to carry it. And then we all complained. And I'm not saying that that's why they carried it. And I'm not saying that it was like just a mistake that somebody at C-SPAN, whatever. But I would like to think that because we hit them on the web about it and said, really, C-SPAN, that they brought it back in. So appreciate that, because at the time, Biff and Kim Ward were down there giving us that footage. And, we had to bounce back and forth between Wi-Fi and 4G, and you guys were seeing all the trouble that was going on there with that stuff. They were working their asses off to bring us that. They're running on battery power. That was a phone. You guys were getting that through a phone. All right, smartphone with a zoom lens running through another device. So it was really nice that C-SPAN went live with their coverage. C-SPAN's under no obligation to do that. They're a consortium of cable networks that are supposed to provide coverage for us. That was the deal in the whole Telecommunications Act bullshit. But anyway, just guys, this is when this starts happening. When you're seeing this, you see more and more articles coming out. CNN Money covering Bernie Sanders in a positive light. More and more articles coming out in this that are going to be viewed by that 24%. Every time this stuff happens, every time Bernie goes on mainstream media, every time an establishment article comes out that's even somewhat positive towards Bernie Sanders, there's a possibility that it gets in front of that 24%. We are the 99% trying to reach 24% of us who are uninformed still. That is our goal. Hey, everybody. Hey, Class Ceiling. Nice to see you, Fred Murphy. Brian. Crunch. Hey, Rob. Nice to have you all in here. Okay, so we're talking about that. Scott, you want to add any comments to that? Do you have anything to say about that? You've been kind of watching everything unfold. What do you say?
It's been tough especially back in October, November. Media coverage was really low when Hillary went on her rise back. There was a point in August where there was better coverage, that it looked like Hillary was fading, but then when she had the Benghazi hearing and all that, all of a sudden the media was back, just right, that she was unbeatable, and stopped covering Bernie, and now they can't ignore it now. Especially, I'm afraid to say it, double-digit win today, but.
You think so? You think so?
Yeah, I have to admit that in 2008, I was in Concord at the Barack Obama primary night party, and Hillary was in Manchester. I thought I was at the winning party, but Hillary ended up pulling that out, and Obama had a double-digit lead, not as big as Bernie's lead,
but that's interesting to talk about that, because there was a establishment article that came out about that, saying the weak link in that, and this is really important. I'm so glad you brought this up. This is so important, folks. This is how Hillary has destroyed herself with the truth. Okay, actually, it was Madeleine Albright and Gloria Steinem that did this for us. But in the 2008 election, what the definitive factor there was women.
yeah.
And
I know it's the young women that have put Bernie over the top, but he's actually leading among all women in New Hampshire.
Right. But if he wasn't before, I think you could say he's pretty much got them all now. I mean, come on. You know, the debacle over the last couple of days between Albright and Steinem, their idiot words, regardless of what their intentions were. Well, Albright, her intentions, anybody who's going to threaten with hellfire and damnation, I mean, for fuck's sake. I don't know what century she's living in. And then Gloria Steinem basically refutes her own existence and then apologizes for it. And that was, you know, Celeste talked about that yesterday, but the damage is done. You guys all know one negative is far worse than a positive, right? That works for sales, that works for business, that works for politicians, because politicians are really sales for a lot of people. The difference is, and there's Bill McKibben talks about this, Bernie sold us to us. He sold us to us. He said, you guys, wake up. Look at yourselves. You're brilliant. You're smart. If you just got together and did this shit together, we could fix this stuff. Wake up. Come on, America. Aren't you pissed off about this enough? Let us work together, vote together, to fix this place together, because it belongs to you. And boy, is it fucked up. That was Bernie's message from the beginning, and I was like, yes, holy shit, right? That was Bernie's message. Hillary, here. These are the messages that we're seeing now with Hillary. Hillary Clinton alleged Barack Obama sold access to big donors, now criticizes campaign finance. This was when Clinton was trending yesterday. And I was like, oh, Jesus, what's she trending about now? This is how I know the tides have turned.
You can't make this stuff
When you start to see shit like that, like, oh my God. Clinton said, go to Twitter and put in Clinton said, because the Goldman Sachs stuff, she doesn't have to release the transcripts. This is the most beautiful thing, folks. She doesn't have to release the transcripts, because people that were there, does she really think that everybody that was there is going to stay all warm and fuzzy about her for the rest of her life? I mean, at least a small fractional percentage of those Goldman Sachs individuals is going to have some integrity to go, that's not, boy, when she was with us, she never said anything about,
he became a crossover star because of one simple word.
She said,
yes.
Fuck yeah!
Daniel Bryan, one of the biggest stars in the WWE, has announced that he will retire due to multiple injuries. Bryan became a household name when his signature chant began being used in sporting events all around the world. His in-ring career has been cut short because of neck and head injuries and a concussion suffered last April. Now, Daniel Bryan did during this day, due to medical reasons affected immediately, I'm announcing my retirement. Tonight on Raw, I'll have a chance to elaborate. Hashtag
that's what they offered. They offered $300,000. They offered $225,000.
Will be my guest right here on Off the Top Rope during the 9 p.m. Eastern edition of Sports Center on ESPN News. Among other things, we'll ask him
He said
what role that specific concussion had in his ultimate decision.
You're a wicked smart businesswoman. I'll give you credit for that. You know how to do establishment greedy business. You were raised in it. You and Bill made bank, $153 million. And they didn't do that by saying, pay me what you want. Whatever you want. It's okay. Is that what you're offering? That's really nice. Thanks. No. She had that written in her goddamn contract. My minimum is this. Why? Because I'm Hillary fucking Rodham Clinton and you will pay me $225,000 a goddamn speech and it'll come back to you. You have a fantastic return on your investments. Yes, sir.
For companies that can't afford it, they just get Chelsea for about $60,000.
Chelsea's done in speaking at this point because I think, you know, she reminds me of Biden. You can't wear your heart on your sleeve and go be a propaganda machine for your mom. I don't think Chelsea. She sent me the last email, and it's basically, do I have to put my name on it? Really? It's the same sad, heartbroken email that Bill sent. Well, here, do I have it? I think I have a copy of it because it's funny. No, I don't. But it's basically, so our opponent has outspent us. Mandy outraised us. Mom still has a fight. Can we get a buck? That's basically what their new thing is. Chelsea, I haven't even seen her speak. When they're not, is she even talking after she called him President Sanders? After the Freudian slip there?
Well,
is she? Here, guys. Here. This is all you need to see. That favorability chart. Now that it's tipped the other direction, that'll eventually work through word of mouth and eventually reach that 24% one way or the other. But I actually had a list of things that I was going to talk about today. This is one of them. So we talked about vote together. That's the most important thing going there. We're going to look at the results. I know there's some results in. You want to look at them right now? Basically,
Bernie won Hicksville Notch 4-0.
Say it again. Say it again.
He won Hicksville Notch 4-0. But he lost one township 2-1, and I think he won another one 5-2 or something like that. I forget.
All right. Well, I'm looking at all the nifty charts and graphs on these polls. I'm going to have to get the links dropped into the rundown links dropped into the description, folks. You know where it goes. Look, we're going to be here all day. we're just doing the show to get warmed up. So glad to have you with me. Hey, let's see. I'm reading something here. Matthew, what are you saying, Matthew? Can you make a prediction as to who do you think? Oh, that's an interesting question. Yes, we will get the chart. First of all, reading some stuff. We will get the chart posted to Twitter. Yes, we'll get all this stuff posted to Twitter. Matthew Ritchie. That's a good... I'm going to let Scott say that. So, Scott, what Matthew Ritchie is asking for is a prediction based on your knowledge, because I certainly don't have any to impart in this regard, on what you think the vote percentages will end up being.
It's hard to say. Like I said, I got it wrong 8 years ago. I thought for sure Obama was going to win, so I went to Concord instead of staying in Manchester. And
you thought or you wanted?
I
think we all wanted, you know? I mean, I don't know.
Although I knew that Obama was running as a centrist and not as a progressive, which most people thought Obama was running as a progressive, but I heard the sound bites after the sound bites they played on CNN, like, we got to get out of Iraq, and CNN would play that, but they wouldn't play so we can get the job done in Afghanistan. And so people thought, oh, Obama's promising to end the wars, but he clearly signaled that he was going to move the troops to Afghanistan and get the job done. And on health care, he didn't even support the mandate beforehand. So
yeah, there was a lot. I hear where you're going. Say I'm sorry. What?
So his plan wouldn't even have covered as many people as it does now because there would have been no mandate.
Right.
And but yeah, I don't think it's going to be 30, but
you don't think he's going by 30 points?
15, hopefully.
I think you could safely say double digits, right? You said you're hoping for double digits.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sanders by at least 10 points.
Then. Yeah.
All right.
Especially since he's up 7 among women in the polls, I don't see how he can cut into the lead.
This is where, and I do have an article on this. This is where we worry about the corruption. I don't know if they can pull off this much corruption, but Janine was saying a little bit yesterday, telling us in the production room that they're worried about some shady shit.
Yeah, I was on a show with Greg Palast and Harvey Wasserman and what's Harvey Wasserman's partner? But they were saying that the polls are too big. The gap is too big right now for them to be able to pull off switching a vote in New Hampshire.
Okay. Yeah, and that's what we need, folks. That's exactly it. Has to be a landslide everywhere we go, so that we can eliminate the possibility of fraud. Right? That's what think about that, Scott. If the 2000 election hadn't been so damned close, but they were able to. It was such a small amount of votes. If you guys, millennials, guys not aware, go back and read about what happened in that election. It was fraud. Our government lied to us and cheated and put somebody in office that should have been there, and we just kind of went, "What you gonna do with the establishment?" I'm reading some comments here. I'm not going to watch. Thank you. Think it through. Glad you don't watch any of those things. I would like to know among you guys what you think. I should create a poll. Maybe we'll create a poll really fast, and we'll see what you guys think, where you think the margins are going to be. I don't really know. Let's see if we can get that. Janine is working phones. Janine is on the ground working on that today. You guys are going to be with me all day. Scott's going to be here. Like I said, I'm going to create another hangout around noon, and we'll just have a stream-a-thon. Hopefully I can get Steph to make me a card for this. Yes, it's going to be a landslide. Let's move on, though. I want to talk about... We talked about the results, voting together, a bunch of stuff that I wasn't even going to talk about yet, and we're like halfway through the show. I want to say this before I forget. I will say this later, but anybody that's watching now, that probably isn't, but like Ben Dixon, anybody that has a show of their own that we use your clips all the time, if you want to come on, you're familiar with the Hangout interface, if you want to come on and talk during the stream-a-thon, email me or send me a DM or something, and let's have you on. Ben Dixon, Sane Progressive. I don't know. Anybody who wants to come on, let's do that. Now, I can't wide open that to everybody in the audience because we need to know that you do the Hangout and you're familiar with being in front of a camera and all that stuff. But I would welcome other commentary from other journalists, other online camera personalities if you're interested. Okay, we'll do that. Like I said, we're running all day, and our goal is just to support New Hampshire. To let New Hampshire know that we are there. If you're from New Hampshire and you are voting today or you've done voted, let me know. Send us some information. Sean Porter yesterday had a better hashtag than I did, and I was upset about it. TRNR, whatever. BTV Live is a better hashtag. I've been seeing that float around. Use that. BTV Live. That's a good one. Send me that stuff. But I've been getting, this is where I wanted to go with letters. I've been getting letters, emails from so many of you, and they're incredible. Thank you. You guys are sending me, I've tried to respond to some. I know I haven't gotten to a lot of you, but this is just so incredible. You guys are sending me links to documents, links to videos, links to articles. You're asking me questions, and I've got this one right here. So Stefan, pardon me, which I know that new name go both ways there, from Germany. I want to read what he has to say, and I copied his email, because there's some really scary shit in here, and I just want to read some of this. But first of all, thanks to your enormous and important service you do to let people know all around the world about Bernie Sanders. Thank you, Stephen. You guys make it work. So you're in Germany, and the first thing I'll say about Germany is that you guys have some really weird internet shit going on, because you're like the only country that blocks pretty much everything we do. I'm not sure what that is there. I think that's your government. I think your older government really doesn't know what's going on there or something. But I'd love to understand what the hell's going on with the German government and internet property, intellectual property, and internet rights. But they seem to be like in the Middle Ages, where with everything else you guys are like way forward and socialist. I don't know what's going on there. So what I'm reading here, what I'm hearing here is that what Stefan is saying is that their mainstream media may be farther back in the timeline and still really focused on Trump. He's saying they're focused on Trump, and private TV channels are getting excited about his craziness and hairstyle. Are private TV channels like cable channels? Is that what you're talking about? You hardly hear about the other dangerous Republicans or Bernie. Okay, so you guys aren't getting any Bernie coverage, is what he's saying. No Bernie coverage. This morning, the stream in public radio was 30 minutes interview with Melinda Crane, a U.S. journalist and political commentator who lives in Germany now, growing up on the East Coast. She's a Hillary fan, right? She's putting Bernie in the likes with Trump as a radical. Now, that's what I'm saying. My wondering here is in Germany, are you guys just like behind the political cycle in the U.S.? Because that's what our media was doing several months ago. You got radical Trump, you got radical Bernie, you got two radicals. Your safe bet is to go with somebody in the middle, Hillary and somebody else, right? I have a feeling, and by the way, I love Germany. I'm just asking questions here. Love. Ex-wife lives in Germany. I was thinking about going there myself. All she tells me about is how great Germany is. But it sounds to me like their media, I mean, is it German government media? Is it owned by, are these private news networks, or are they just owned by the same six? I'm sure they're owned by the same conglomerate establishment media networks, right? So there's another thing. Bill Clinton's comments on Bernie, that he's naive, good ideas, but with no chance to become realized. This one is the one. This one is the one that's weird, folks, because I'm not sure I understand where this is coming from. Then she compares Bernie with Eugene McCarthy. I don't understand. And then you say she could be right about that. Are we talking McCarthyism? That guy?
No.
No. Who is Eugene McCarthy? I'm talking wrong guy. Who's Eugene McCarthy? 60th, 70th. I'm not sure I understand what
he was a progressive.
Okay. My bad, folks. My bad. I'm not even sure I understood who that was. All right, I should have looked him up.
Anti-war candidate.
Okay. Well, okay. Bill Clinton's comments on Bernie are irrelevant these days. And please share with your German friends all of the information we have on this channel. All of the links that we have. That information probably just hasn't reached media over there. You're faced with the same problem. So my question for you, Stefan, how can we help the independent news out there? What are the independent news networks? Can we work with them? Because I would really like to get our message. I would like to get the truth out into Germany. I'd like to get the truth into France, everywhere. We need the truth globally. We're fighting this globally. So who can we talk to? How can we partner and work together to make that happen? Because we need the truth to get out there. We have to. Bernie's got to fix America. We've got to fix America. But the greater issue, and we've all said this, we know this, and I want to. Somebody sent this to email in YouTube comments to me. I didn't say 4 years. We're not going to be dead in 4 years, and the planet's not going to be dead in 4 years. I said about 40 years. In 40 years, I won't want to be here. In 20 years, we may not want to be here. But in 20 years, we'll know. In fact, if we haven't done anything, we're toast. We don't have 10 years. We had 20. This is what I said. We had 20 years to act decisively to save our planet. Back in 1977. That was 97. We're 20 years beyond that. We are 20 years behind the time when we had to decisively act to save our planet. So, when we talk about Bernie, when we talk about America, when we talk about reconstructing democracy, when we talk about all of these things, I say they really are irrelevant because the global effort to save the planet needs to be enacted now. We're not going to make that happen unless we have Bernie in office. And the world's not going to make that happen unless we have a movement that probably needs to be started by the United States because they're the largest slow dog to move. And that's where we sit. That's really where we sit. That's what we have to do. How do we work together to save the planet? As ridiculous as everybody wants to say it sounds, it's the truth. And just as much as the truth hurts Hillary Clinton, it hurts all of us. It hurts all of us to the point that if we want to deny the truth, we're just going to die. It's not like, well, I don't want to look at that truth. Well, then you're going to be dead. Your kids are going to be dead. This planet's going to be dead. You know? Sorry, guys.
An example of how Hillary keeps changing what she believes in.
Yes.
64, she supported Goldwater.
Yep.
And in 68, she supported Gene McCarthy, who was the anti-war candidate.
Yep. Yep. And here, guys, in terms of changing minds or changing positions, the Goldwater thing nobody brings up. I don't even know why anybody brings up the Goldwater thing. She while Bernie marched with MLK, she was in the opposition party, which didn't want to change the white colored fountain going on. They didn't want to. Goldwater was about segregation, folks. She was in that party. Her morals and ethics at the time didn't convince her that that was the wrong thing to do. Anybody 65 plus voting for her at this point, I question. Come on, folks. Really. And then let's just go into here. We found out this is no longer an artful smear, right? That $153 million, those fees were demanded. On the other hand of the truth sphere, I love this. Andy Borowitz lets us know that Bernie Sanders has to admit receiving free checking from banks. Yeah. And Bernie released his speaking fees. I have that somewhere in here. I got to find it. Give me a second. Where is this? Bernie makes bank on his speaking fees, guys.
I think the largest one was $800 and something.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Shit. Oh, here it is. Bernie Sanders comes clean. I love the headline on this article. This is great. Here you go, guys. When we talk about scandals, so to your people in Germany, John, I tweeted a picture for you. Oh, thank you, Holly. I'll look for it. Yes. Hi, Robert. Hillary is a Goldwater girl. Tom Hartman is a Goldwater boy? Seriously? Is there truth to this, Scott?
A lot of people changed.
Interesting. Yeah, Borowitz thing was a joke, folks. He said the whole point of that is it's free checking from bank. You know, you go into your personal checking, you get free checking with an account. Bernie released his money. The Clintons released how much money that she's worth. She's worth millions. Bernie's got about $300K and change. That's what he has. Okay. Here's Bernie Sanders comes clean. Here's another one, and we're going to scroll down. He released the amount of money he made on his speaking fees. Hang on, folks. I actually a little sad for him, considering who he is, his senator. That's what he's made, $1,867.42 for 3 appearances. It was, vast difference. So when the German woman talks, or the expat, whatever, in Germany talks about Sanders, and I don't, show them that. This great article here. So I'm just looking at Tom Hartman. Yeah, Tom Hartman, what's up? We'll find out about that. I don't know. Maybe that's why it doesn't talk to us. let's see, what else we got going on, guys? Read my notes. And the other thing is, so we didn't finish. So that was Steph's German or email to me from Germany. Thank you very much for that. I hope I answered some of your questions. Somebody else asked me to talk about Monsanto and radiation, Bernie Sanders and those things. We'll get into that today. Monsanto is an evil company, and we need to probably liquidate them. If you guys aren't familiar, Roundup is a chemical, has chemicals in it that have it is now in our water supply, it's in our ground, it's in our air, it's in our food, it's in our bees, it's in our honey, it's in everything. The chemical base of Roundup. It's horrific what it has done to our environment. What it has done to bees alone, whole countries have banned this shit. Countries with brains, progressive nations, socially democratic nations have already banned this shit. Our nation, of course, makes a fuck ton of money off this stuff. Our politicians do, like Hillary Clinton. And it's part of what we have done to destroy our environment. We have more than 450 dead pools, swirling areas many kilometers in radius that are just devoid of life. There's no oxygen. And why is there no oxygen? Because our coastlines, the American coastlines, empty millions and millions of gallons of Roundup and other toxins and pesticides into the water. And these toxins and pesticides are full of nitrates and other chemicals that algae basically feed on. This is what algae, they convert that waste into CO2. And it depletes oxygen in the ocean water because that algae is gone. When the algae is gone, other fish lose their food source. So this has a systemic relationship with everything going on in the ocean. We have more than 450 dead pools. These dead pools, folks, did not exist, to our knowledge, prior to 1970. More than 450 of them. They did not begin increasing in size rapidly until a little bit after that. And then it was like, boom, an explosion of these things. You know, we talk about care. We talk about relationships. We talk about money influencing politicians. Look at your planet. Look at your planet. And that is where money influences politicians. This might actually be a good place to cut to the Humanist Report. I want to run this clip. It's totally... Humanist Report, or I got the wrong clip? Hang on a second. No. You know what we're going to do? We're going to run this. Jeez. I'm sorry, guys. I have like 2 or 3 different things that I want to do today. I'm not really sure which one I want to do. I'm really thinking more about getting the rest of the day off, which is ridiculous in terms of the New Hampshire thing. But there's too many things that I want to run. Too many things that I want to talk about. There's the problems with mainstream media. There's the Bernie Bros things. Let's just let. I know I've gone all over the board on this, but in relation to like talking about people asking questions, dispelling myths around the world in terms of misinformation about Bernie Sanders, mainstream media affecting global things, how we need to work together. It all comes to the vote together thing, guys. It all revolves around that. I'm going to let Kyle here. Where's Kyle with the Humanist Report? This is a 6-minute, 30-second clip. I'm going to let Kyle just kind of run off about the Bernie Bros. And he has a little clip in here where Bernie talks about this thing, and then Kyle goes off about it. But this is the reality of the person. This is just somebody else. Just listen to this. I got to let somebody else get in a rant here on all of this today.
Bernie Sanders weighed in on the so-called Bernie Bros that have been mentioned repeatedly on the internet. So let's listen to what he had to say.
Have you heard about this phenomenon, Bernie Bros, people who support you and sometimes attack in very crude and sexist ways?
I have heard about it. Look, we don't want that crap. We can't, and we will do everything we can. I think we have tried. Look, that anybody who is supporting me is doing sexist things we don't want them. I don't want them. That is not what this campaign is about.
So he's clear, he's on the record there. He says, insofar as there are people that are doing that, I have no interest in even getting their support. Go away. That's his position. Now, it's a unique claim from Hillary supporters that indeed there are these Bernie bros that are super sexist all the time against Hillary Clinton, because Bernie, for example, has repeatedly, he tweets all day long on his various accounts as he's running for president here, or he has staffers tweet for him, although I do think it's him because it sounds like him the way he's tweeting. But he repeatedly rips sexism. He repeatedly has called for equal pay for women. If you're somebody who's sexist, it's a weird candidate to get behind if you're with the person who's consistently calling for equal rights for women. Look, I don't deny that there are probably some people who support Bernie who I would disagree with on many things. He might disagree with on many things. And perhaps there are people who are assholes. Every group, no matter what kind of group it is going to have some percentage that's assholes. But are they particularly worse than any other group or somehow more sexist? No. It just seems to be completely and utterly made up. Now, even though I think that's the case, is this a good response from Bernie? Yeah. It'd probably make it a bigger story inadvertently if he was like, I don't think there's anything to this. So what does he do? He just says, look, if that's the case, I have no interest in them. I don't even want their support. So it's a smart way of handling it. But, perhaps we can put this issue to rest if we could find, maybe some kind of evidence that indeed this is mostly contrived and it's a campaign strategy and it's not really based in fact. If there just happened to be, for example, maybe articles written back in 2008 when Hillary was running against Obama where people pretended like Obama supporters were really sexist, maybe that would show that this is just a campaign strategy and this isn't, oh, goodness gracious. That indeed is the case. Back when Hillary Clinton was running against President Obama, at the time Senator Barack Obama, they were called Obama Boys. And the idea was, how can you support anybody except Hillary Clinton? The people who support President Obama, or Senator Obama, are so immensely sexist that look at us write articles about it. Are we such moral Hillary supporters here, calling out the bigotry and intolerance and sexism of Obama supporters? Okay. Guys, newsflash. This is what you do when you can't win on actual policy substance. If it was the case that Hillary Clinton and her supporters could sit down face-to-face with Bernie supporters or Bernie and say, okay, look, here's why you're wrong about single-payer Medicare for all. Here's why you're wrong about bringing back Glass-Steagall, an updated version of it, and breaking up the big banks. Hey, here's why you're wrong on, you go down the list, on all the different positions he has. If they could do that, and they could make compelling arguments, you think they'd need to resort to this tactic? Sexist! You're sexist! Bernie bros! Bernie bros! Bernie bros! No, they do this because they got nowhere else to go, man. Hillary's flailing. Notice, sometimes she makes the argument, he's not practical, his ideas are too far left, I'm guilty of being the moderate. Yeah, I'm going to be smart, I'm going to be pragmatic in how I get these things through. She makes that argument half the time, and then the other half of the time, she pretends like she's more progressive than Bernie. Hillary, which is it? You can't have both at the same time. Either you're more progressive than him, like you pretend about your Wall Street plan, even though it's not, or you're less, and you're saying, I'm more pragmatic, so vote for me. But you argue both things at the same time. That's a contradiction. It doesn't make any sense, Hillary. It makes no sense. So what do? Well, you can't win in the realm of ideas because you're going against a guy who has a long history of being for progressive ideas and being consistent. So you and your supporters, Bill Clinton did it recently. Bill Clinton came out yesterday. Bernie lives in a hermetically sealed box, he said. All this rampant and vicious sexism against Hillary online. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? No, this is a political strategy. It's clear it's a political strategy. And the idea is to try to shame people into voting for Hillary and doing guilt by association. As if, so let's say for a second it were true. Now, it's not true, but let's say it's true that there were these evil, sexist Bernie bros. In no way, shape, or form has Bernie done anything that would make it seem like he wanted to support them in the first place, where he's tweeting about women's rights and feminism and equality. And his policy positions are good for everybody in the country. The idea that you would pin it on him, even if there were so-called Bernie bros, that's denying agency to the people who would be the so-called Bernie bros. And again, let me be clear, that's not the case. There aren't those people. I'm sure there are some assholes, but there are assholes in every group, and they're in no way more representative of Bernie Sanders followers. If anything, these people seem to know quite a lot more about policy. That's kind of why they're supporting Bernie in the first place. So this is utter nonsense. This was a strategy used then, it's a strategy used now, and this is right in line with what Hillary said in the last debate. How dare Bernie call me establishment? I'm female. Oh, as if it's impossible to be part of the establishment because you're female. You didn't take that Goldman Sachs money for the speeches. You didn't take money from the health insurance industry and the health industry. You didn't take money from other Wall Street firms. You weren't Secretary of State. You weren't First Lady. You weren't a senator from New York. None of that counts because I have a vagina. Bernie Sanders.
There we go. Audio is good. So it's nice to have somebody else rant and do it in a really professional way, and thank you very much. Now, I messed up big time. I'm looking at the video right here. I'm just going to pull it up. We're going to pan back so you can see who this is by. Completely my fault, not giving credit here. This is Secular Talk, and this is Kyle with Secular Talk. I've heard other people tell me that this was Mike, or maybe I was wrong. I apologize. This is Kyle with Secular Talk, and he did a great job. There you go. Okay, great clip, great job, nice setup there, really good. If you had proof, if you had anything to argue with, if you had a plan, if you had evidence, if you had documents, but you don't. That's the difference right there. So for anybody, anywhere around the world that is going to argue against Bernie Sanders, the record on the internet, 2008 Obama bros, the record on the internet doesn't disappear. Even if you make it disappear off your email server, it's going to be somewhere else, Hillary. That's the beauty of the internet. And archive.org, their whole goal is to store the internet. So we have many, many beautiful, there are many groups out there that are doing everything they can to store all of the data on the internet because it is proof. It is how we can go back in time and say, you lied. You are a hypocrite. And we keep catching you in these hypocritical statements. We are done voting for hypocrites. We are done voting for people who do not walk the talk. We will vote together today, New Hampshire, and we will vote together from now until the election to put people in office that will walk the talk, whose record stands on its own, and who actually have the ability to argue the facts intelligently. Currently, we don't really have a lot of those people in office. Very few. Anonymous for Secretary of State. I think a lot of people involved in Occupy Anonymous should be in a new branch of government. I've been told this branch exists. Apparently we don't hear much about it. It's like the technology. I think there should be a branch of government called Technology and Government. Upgrading our government from the late 1850s so that it functions more like a government of the 21st century. You know, we need Homeland Security should be focused on infrastructure, should be focused on fiber across the country, should be focused on providing things like an electric grid that isn't so duct taped together because of years of neglect and free-run, non-regulated bullshit, that it is the biggest, our electric grid is the biggest terrorist threat we have right now, folks. And I really think it's being left the way it is because the U.S. is hoping that they have another reason to go to war. I really think the establishment government is hoping for another reason to go to war. And mark my words, before we get to the election, I guarantee you there will be an effort by the establishment to create another war of magnitude that warrants, we can't put Bernie in office, foreign policy, gotta have somebody strong, gotta go blow up shit. I guarantee you there will be some wag the dog bullshit war that will be created. They tried to do it with ISIS and we said, fuck you. We're not buying into that again. So, be careful, folks. Be careful, because the spin machine, the propaganda machine, is going to work very, very hard to give us a reason why we don't want peace and love around the world. But we all know that we're on the love train with Bernie. We want peace and love around the world. We want to work together for a better planet. We have no choice. Even ISIS is going to need to deal with climate change. Probably ISIS in particular, considering where they are. I mean, they should be more worried about that than anything else. We all should be, folks. We're going to die. We're going to die. I don't say that lightly. I don't say that lightly at all. I'm going to pull up some of the memes. Wendy, by the way, I saw a note in there about an article you sent me. So many people are sending me so many articles. I'm going to do my best to source out some of them today, but yes, I'm being inundated with the truth. Thank you all so much. I'm grabbing as many as I can. A lot of times they're duplicates, and I don't have a chance to get back to you and say, thank you very much. I see all of your messages. I see everything you're saying. Boy, it got really bright here. I apologize. But I see it all. Thank you. Let's look at some of the new memes so that I have a chance to pull up other content that I wanted to talk about. Jeffrey Young, We the People, be joining us Thursday. Be there. Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, We the People. Bernie may be doing something. There may be something else going on, but we dedicate this time because he is a Bernie-crat. He's running for 6th district candidate in Kentucky, and we need Bernie-crats. 435 seats are open. A third of Senate, I believe is what it is. I still get confused on all of this stuff, where these people come from, where they go. We have a lot of people we can replace in our federal government this year with Bernie-crats. This guy, Jeff Young, MIT grad, really smart guy, Noam Chomsky educated guy. Okay, this is a guy who we need in office. This kind of a forward-thinking doer, a Bernie-crat. But he needs your help, Kentucky, because he's fighting establishment government on both sides. Big money. Kentucky's a purple state, folks. Kentucky is a purple state. I was not aware of that. That's really cool. We need that. But let's take a look at some of your memes. This was a good one someone posted to me. And the people responsible for this will be getting big fat checks from all of us soon. What else we got here? Here's another one. The most distant, this is Flint. This was delivered a while ago. Piece of shit. Situation there really not getting any better, folks. This one, Women for Bernie, like this. Just really nice. Bernie Sanders' platform is about more than just reproductive freedom. It's also about reproductive justice, which addresses issues for many women of color and low-income women by shifting the focus from choice to access. Reproductive justice isn't only about abortion and birth control. It's about economic justice, racial justice, access to family planning, affordable childcare, and education. A woman cannot have full reproductive freedom until she first has reproductive justice. These issues are at the top of Bernie's platform. That's an important piece for all women to understand there. I hate to say it, but Bernie Sanders is interested in providing women with more rights than Hillary Clinton is, a woman. And Hillary's okay with settling for what you got right now. The whole reproductive rights thing we could do an entire show on that, but this show is going to touch into the beast in the cave, the military-industrial complex. But just know this, folks. I'm a big, big feminist. I'm a big believer that we should have a female president just not one that's going to act like a man. And to me, that's what Hillary would do. That's my personal opinion. That's not an attack on Hillary. That's just my personal opinion, that I think she would rule our government like a man, like an establishment man. And I don't want that. Okay? I have great respect for you gotta understand. I truly believe that if we had many, many more women in office, our world would be at peace. Because women are about peace. Women get it. They're the caregivers, the mother. They raise the child. They give birth to the child. Men were designed for a different purpose. Unfortunately, we take that purpose and roll with it. And we're terrible at it, mostly. I'm sorry, that's my total personal opinion. I'm a feminist. I want to see more women in office. I want to see more women in government. Let's fill those 435 seats with at least 50% women. Hey, Scott. Let's fill that third of Senate with women. There's way too many old, white, rich, grumpy men hanging out in our government. And it's because our government has been so ruled by men for decades, for hundreds of years. The world has been ruled by men for thousands of years. It is so time to shift that balance. When we talk about equality for women, when I talk about equal rights, when I think of equal rights for women, this is me. When I think of equal rights for women, I think of women having an equal share of seats in government. I actually think that should be necessary. I think the perspective, the woman's perspective versus the man's perspective, is important. I know that may be backwards to some people, but I think that's super important because men don't give birth. Men don't raise a child. We can raise a child as a parent, but we are not the human bond with that child. I know this gets into a lot of things. I'm just saying there's a perspective there that men can't have. And I think it's important to the care of this planet. I think it's important to the care of human beings. And if we're not able to have it, we need to listen to it. And there's where we get into the difference. Bernie Sanders listens. His wife has a desk next to his. She'll probably have a desk next to his in the Oval Office. That's equality. That's listening. That's understanding a woman's perspective correctly. To me, again, this is my opinion, and I want to make that very clear now before we move on. Is that I realize I've said a lot of things in this newsroom program since we started. These are my opinions and views. This show is a volunteer effort. This channel is a volunteer effort. Anybody's welcome to do a show. It just takes work, prep work. And that's what we all do here. But this is my opinion being voiced. I share it with you. I share the facts with you. I offer you my opinion on those facts. The way journalists used to do it. Except not, well, and they did it with a lot more class, trust me. I'm a blunt instrument for Bernie Sanders. I paint with a barn. Okay? My goal is to be as loud of a noise as possible, to make as much splash as possible, to inform as many people as possible, as quickly as possible, with a fire hose. Because I don't work well with scalpels. I'm not a detail kind of guy. Right? Here's the gist. If that doesn't work for you, dig down yourself. Right? I'm reading some comments here. I've been watching them come through. The margin should be huge.
On the women.
Yes, please, Scott, please jump in, because I've seen a lot of comments about pro-birth versus pro-life, and but anyway, go on. You say it.
Now, there are a lot of great women politicians, let me say that, but I think one of the problems, especially when women run for president, is they feel that they have to come across as tough, that they're afraid that people won't vote for them because they think they're weak. So they overcompensate and become more hawkish than they need to be. I think it's a sad thing. I don't think it's necessary, but
right. I agree.
Happens. And then how do we explain Sarah Palin and people that they don't listen to their...
That's if we're really gonna start categorizing, you have to start with establishment, right? I mean, if you're an establishment politician, then it really truly doesn't matter whether you're male or female. You're just going to dictate. You're going to spew establishment information, right? So if you're a female, you're going to sound like a male because establishment is dictated by male thoughts and male rule. And so that's all it really is. Come down to the next level, free thinking human being, free thinking politician who's female. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Let's see you express your views openly, intelligently, whatever they are. But I guess what I'm trying to say there is, in my personal view, a free thinking woman who's not on an establishment payroll, her views are going to be very much in line with Bernie Sanders. That's where I'm going.
I was always afraid with Elizabeth Warren that she's great on domestic issues, but would she have fallen into the trap of, I got to act tough on foreign policy? We never got to find out where she was on foreign policy.
Well, and that's, the whole foreign policy thing for me is a leftover from the 50s freak-out scare of world domination and the military-industrial complex, which has bred fear and intimidation into the minds of American people for generations and ruined us into believing we need to be afraid of everybody and the big country with the big stick running around beating the shit out of everybody, world police. And I saw a lot of comments in here. I just want to address them. I saw some no mansplaining. I'm not sure what that means, Juliet. I don't know. Jeb, just elect Bernie. That's funny. I am, just so that everybody understands, I'm an atheist big time. I was raised in a Catholic church. I saw a couple people mention Catholic church. I got nothing against any human being. I love all human beings as human beings. Certain ones that have committed atrocities, crimes against humanity, I got problems with in terms of their existence still within our society, maybe on this planet. But human beings, I don't wish any ill will. I just want to live in a planet we all agree is good. Currently that doesn't exist. And it can exist, and that's why I'm frustrated. Religion I take a lot of issue with. Religions in general are control mechanisms. And I watched the Catholic Church really destroy people's lives, fuck mine up in some big ways. And it's because of the indoctrination that was taught to the people at my church that were good people. They were spewing shit out their mouths that was not. And they were teaching children like me shit that was not true. So for all of you that are Catholics, I have nothing against you as human beings. And if you choose to believe in that faith, good for you. Just know that your faith fucks up kids' lives big time. Has done that for 2,000 years. And I take personal issue with that. So that's how I go there. No respect for the religions, because the religions are dominating control mechanisms created by men to control people. And those people within them do good things. There's many good things that happen within religions and churches, but there are also many horrendous, horrible, evil things. And all those good things could be done without the religion. All of those good things are done by other good people every fucking day who don't give two shits about believing in any God. They just do good things because that's what people do. Religion to me is part of the backwards mechanism of control, the man-ruled mechanism of control within this world. And I hope that as more people become educated, that changes. I'm going to leave it there because I know that opened a hornet's nest there. Because when I talk about coming together, and when Bernie talks about coming together, this together is above and beyond religious belief because it's about human beings as a species. And if we can't all overlook our individual choices and come together as a species, if I can't overlook the Catholic Church, if I can't put that down, if I can't put my anger down, my feelings about that, and go, you know what? It's okay, because we have a planet to save, we have a nation to save, we have a world of people that all count. And that's what matters. That's what matters. Issues of religion, race, wealth, these are all division issues. And we need to rise above them. I need to rise above them every day. I need to rise above my anger and put it to action. And today, we need New Hampshire to rise above, to rise out of the couch, to rise out of the chair, get out of your house, go down to the polling station if you haven't already done it, get in a van. If you're at school, I know they've got vans heading from campuses. Vote together today, New Hampshire. We need a landslide victory to show the world that we are all ready to change. We are all ready to vote together against our establishment governments and make this a good place for all of us, no matter what we choose to believe in, because above individual choice is the saving of this planet. And your choices don't mean shit if the planet is uninhabitable. So, Catholics for Bernie. I'm glad. I'm glad. Atheists for Bernie. Catholics for Bernie. You would be surprised. Look, anybody know who Joshua Abraham Heschel is? Cornel West mentioned him on one of his last speeches. Joshua Abraham Heschel is a rabbi, or was a rabbi, who had some of the most brilliant, wonderful things to say about people. And I respect the shit out of him and all the things he had to say. And I respect the shit out of the new Pope guy. I think he's great. He's the first human being kind of Pope I've ever seen who doesn't bullshit. Anyway, Joshua Heschel said something to me that I thought, or it's not to me personally. It was a video I was watching. Somebody sent me this video. And in it, he says, very simple little speech. And he says, somebody says, I remember, okay, he was being interviewed, and somebody said, in all of the book, the Torah, the big Bible for Jewish religion, somebody said, in all of the Torah, what would you want people to remember or read, or what do you suggest they do or go through? He said, the golden rule, do unto others. Everything else in there is just extra. Basically, that's it, folks. Do unto others as you wish to have done to you. Treat others as you want to be treated. Everything else is just kind of extra. And I thought, that's a great way to think about how we live together. Look at the record of Bernie Sanders. Look at the record of Hillary Clinton. And apply that one simple rule. And then vote together today. That's what we have to do. So. The Torah. Yeah, thank you. And all they've got to do, look, like I said, didn't want to get into it. We're bringing it back to love. Sorry, everybody. We were going to talk about nuclear radiation, but Celeste isn't here to go over that. There's a lot of it leaking around. Right now, there's some of it leaking. Indian Point Nuclear Facility operator reports alarming levels of radioactivity in plant's groundwater. Some wells increased 65,000%. We want to see that picture? After we're talking about love and taking care of the earth and finding my cursor on the screen. There we go. Radioactive water overflowed into the groundwater at the upstate Indian Point Nuclear Power Plant, officials said Saturday. Governor Cuomo said that the plant's operator reported alarming levels. I would say 65,000% is an alarming number. Doesn't matter what it is. Bubblegum. That's a big fucking number. Percentage increase of Bernie's like the Pope. In many ways. Agreed. I've seen it said Bernie is like Jesus. I've seen it said, which is kind of funny, but That's the embodiment of a good person, a leader, good person. That's what we're looking for. A leader that doesn't suck, folks. We have it in Bernie Sanders. He's like Jesus. He's like the Pope. FDR, Teddy Roosevelt. Do you hear any of these comparisons being made of Hillary Clinton? Hillary's like, I don't know, experienced. That's what they keep saying, experience. She's made shitty choices with that experience, but she's been experienced, apparently. Experienced enough to know how to work in the system. Bernie Sanders is like Jesus, Teddy Roosevelt, FDR. Who else? Who else, folks? He embodies every single good leader or the aspects of a good leader that we look for in a human being. Jesus of Nazareth. What would Bernie do? You know what would Bernie do? He would do the same thing that anybody would do who acted on their conscience and principles and morals with ethics. Anybody who really believed in the golden rule. That's all he does. That's all he does. He simply walks the talk. He walks the talk. That's all it really is. He walks the talk. A leader who doesn't. Thank you, Ryan. Please send that to Hillary is Margaret Thatcher. Could you please send that to the campaign suggested? Hey, Hector, I know you're probably not watching. Whoever's running the ad, that's the new thing for Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, a leader that doesn't suck. I want that to be the new. Yeah, that's the history. Hillary is like Nixon. Interesting statement. Nixon actually did some good things for being an establishment complete crook, thief, liar. Jesus was a socialist Jew. He was! Believe it or not, folks, even though I have a really bad taste in my mouth about religion in general, I studied the shit out of religion. I know a lot about it. And, yeah. The actual human being, Jesus, was a radical who gathered a group of people around him rather quickly for his radical beliefs about loving everybody, treating everybody with kindness, in a time when shit was pretty fucked up. Nobody did that. And he challenged the establishment, and the establishment kicked his ass. They're like, you know what? We can do these things to you. And we'll just leave it at that. The people, 2,000 years later, are still talking about this radical who had these great radical ideas. Now, those ideas have kind of morphed into this crazy bullshit, but the original idea from the guy was the same thing. It's the same thing that all leaders who recognize that we are here together, why not love each other and get on with it already? That's really, imagine what we could do together if we weren't busy destroying each other. Just imagine. Oh, let's not even go there. We won't go into the plagiarism within the Bible. Look, the Bible is a beautiful story with some elements of truth written by a whole bunch of men over a long period of time. We all know that. Don't even care about the details. The point being, the guy was a great man. We have an opportunity today, right now, to elect a great man. Like Jesus, like the Pope, like FDR, like Teddy Roosevelt, like Gandhi. We either elect this great man for so many reasons, and we begin the transformation of our planet, or we accept defeat. What's his name? David Brock. I have a note in my thing. My note says Humanist Report, which was not the Humanist Report, because I keep saying that, goddammit, and it was Secular Talk, Kyle, but I had it on my note as Humanist Report, and it's not. Now I got to show a Humanist Report just because. Clinton speaking fees, we talked about that. Clinton said, we talked about that. David Brock is an asshole. That was the next thing on my list, folks. David Brock is an asshole, and we're almost out of here. But I want to light a fire under your Bernie passion today. We're going to do this the rest of the day. We're going to talk about this, but I want to light a fire under your Bernie passion. And by the way, I'm reading all your comments. I didn't mean to start a religious discussion. This is not about that. This is just about as I said, this is just about the relationship, the understanding. Whether Jesus was fictional or true, the overall gist was that he was a good guy who loved everybody and wanted everybody to love each other, get along, and just do good things. Okay, that's bottom line. We've moved on to David Brock being an asshole because we want to talk about this. David Brock is calling Bernie's movement, calling us. This is where I want to get angry, folks. It's time to get that passion riled up. We have a whole day of supporting New Hampshire. We'll vote together. We are going to own the airwaves with this. We have to bomb the truth out of this. This is what David Brock and the establishment think. Now, who is David Brock? David Brock is the leader of Correct the Record, a super PAC which is illegally working with Hillary's campaign because they say they can do so because they are an internet-based entity and therefore they can work together. It's the most disgusting bullshit abuse of power I've ever seen in my life. This guy has a sleazeball. He's a career politician. That's all he is, a career politician helper. His goal is to get her to win. Doesn't matter how. Doesn't matter what he says or what he does. He wrote a book against her. He calls all of this, what we've got going on here, this movement, the thousands and thousands and thousands of people across the country that have shown up. I have a great picture of that from you guys. He thinks all of this is rainbows. He's back to the rainbows and unicorns land. This is his last-ditch effort. So now he's pushing out this very hurtful, it's just garbage. Basically telling all of you around the world, all of you in America who are going to vote, specifically telling you in New Hampshire, don't even fucking bother today, guys. Bernie's rainbows and bubbles. He can't accomplish what he says. He's unrealistic. Fuck you, David Brock. Fuck you. You know what he's really saying? He's really saying, please don't look at the fact that when you started back in June, you didn't even exist on the political map. Then you were 30 points behind. Now you're tied nationally. That's where Bernie is. We did that, people. We did that, Mr. David Brock, rainbows and bullshit. We went from 0 to 30 points behind to tied nationally, and we did that. We did that before the fucking primaries really even started. We created a global movement around one man. Our candidate. We have completely outmaneuvered, out-strategized corporate media, the establishment government, and the hired political people for the Hillary campaign. There are conversations going on. I didn't even show these. We'll talk about these later. About the Hillary campaign imploding. They are the White House is like, we don't know what the fuck they're doing there, but we're not happy about it. Bloomberg is now really seriously considering a run. The Clinton campaign is now backpedaling, saying we weren't going to fire anybody. We're definitely reassessing where our campaign's going because, well, it sucks. They know there's changes they need to make. They're dying. They're losing. David Brock is now, we are back to let's try slinging some mud. But I want you all to be pissed off because he's basically saying, after you've already done the rainbows and bubbles, we did it. We accomplished it. Bernie is on the map. Mainstream media has no choice but to cover him. He's a worldwide sensation. He's got the respect of the people. He's got the vote of the people. He's kicking ass and taking names. We only have 24% of this country left to convert. We have converted 3/4 of this country to Bernie Sanders. Look at it that way. Because it's very easy to convert people to Bernie once they just open their eyes and see the truth. And we're not going to be able to convert a very small fraction. But as far as David Brock telling us that this is a bubble of bullshit, David, you're the one swimming in it, fucker. Stop spewing it out on establishment media or whatever. I want you guys to be pissed off. I want you guys to know that this is what he thinks of you. This is what he thinks of your ability and your effort. We need to show David Brock today just how powerful we are with hashtag vote together and how much media we can send his way. This is where we rule the air. The internet is our truth machine, and we will blast it today. We are going to carpet bomb the internet today, just like we did for Iowa. You can expect that they will pull out some dirty tricks. You can expect that they will do something to defraud the vote. We will be ready. We will be ready. We are the new muckrakers. All of us together, we are here to make sure that the truth is told and that the record stays the record. That is our job. So, I wanted to bring that up. Get you pissed. Oh, yeah! Jesus, I almost forgot, you guys. Corporate media keeps talking about Bernie Bros. Yeah, they're going to keep talking about it. I should have run that clip. The FBI formally announced its investigation into Hillary's emails. This is important, and maybe I should play this clip if I can find it. Hang on a second. No, that's my ending clip. No, all right. Because we're almost done. I got to close up, and then I got to get ready for the thing. We've got lots of other things to run today. If I didn't run your clips, I'll run them. If you send me articles and I didn't get a chance to get them, I will get them. I'm sorry. We're going to be live all day, folks. We're going to watch all sorts of fun stuff. So be thinking about what we're going to watch. And I'm broadcasting from Portland. Yes. Sorry, reading some notes here. We shouldn't insult him. F-bombs are always a better option. What? David Drone Brock with... Sorry, I'm reading all these quotes, guys. You guys are saying some hilarious stuff. So awesome. No, I will be back. Where's I going? Where's I going with this? Shit, I forgot where it was. Crazy day. Oh, guys, look. I said this yesterday. Remember how Bernie kept saying, there's a process. I don't want to talk about the emails. There's a process. There's a process for that. Every time he was asked, there's a process for that. And Hillary was like, I'm so glad Bernie doesn't want to talk about my emails. The FBI launched an investigation. Officially launched an investigation. Now, I'm sure they will do everything they can to protect Hillary from this, and they're going to say it doesn't really matter. But the truth is, folks, you have a candidate who is now under investigation for an email scandal. This is the front runner. This is the person that the 65 and older crowd, the 24% of America, is going to vote for. We need to push that story big time because they need to understand that I don't really want a candidate in office who's being investigated by the FBI. That really doesn't speak well for America. Hey, America, vote establishment candidate being investigated by the FBI. I mean, yeah. Part of the process is them holding out until after the primary. Yeah. Independent. All right. No. I don't know what happened, folks. I don't know where the sound went. And I don't know how long it's been that way. I just turned it back on. So I apologize. Literally what happened is one of my audio channels just died. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. I'm probably going to have to restart the machine. Oh. Never mind. I see what happened. Camera 3 died, folks. Camera 3 actually brings in the audio on the other channel. Apologies. Sorry, guys. How are we there? There. All good. Apologies. That could have been corrected earlier. I just caught your messages. Thank you for letting me know. I was even looking at the audio channel. A lot of things to look at. I apologize, everybody. Anyway, let's move on. The show needs to be over. I'm going to run Bernie Sanders Starman, Richard Gillard. That's my guess on your last name. Richard sent this in a couple days ago, and what he did here was do a nice mashup. He's using David Bowie's Starman, which we shouldn't get dinged for, so let's see how it does. And what he's got is a nice mashup of a lot of the footage that's already been put together. Bernie marches, some from the America commercial. Thank you very much for putting this together, Richard. I see all of your media. We're going to go through a lot of it today. I've been building a list. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here, watching this show, conversing with us. Steph. I'm reading here. I was waving like an hard time. Just fucking waving. Listen, if I had somebody else to hang out with me, Scott's here, but he wasn't there to tell me. If he'd been here, he could have told me. That's one of the good reasons why we like to have a comment mods in here. I should have a crew at some point for today. We should have a crew of more people. We'll be able to do comment modding. We'll do all those things. We'll run, like I said, we're just gonna have a ball. Join me at noon for that. Thank you for being here for the newsroom. Share these articles. Share this content. Get out there. Vote together, New Hampshire. We are here for you. And we are going to take back this country with Bernie Sanders, the 99%. And I got to get see my hair. The haircut, it doesn't do quite what it's supposed to do anymore. Here, let's hold this up. Like I said, Bernie Sanders, Starman, from Richard. And this is a nice mashup. Have a good day, everybody. Feel the burn.
To do what has to be done unless millions of Americans come together and say loudly and clearly, enough is enough!
Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low. I'm leaning back on my radio. Some cat was laying down some rock and roll at the sunset. Then the loud sound it seemed to fade. Came back like a slow voice on a wave of pain. That was no DJ, that was lazy cosmic time. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He likes to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to know it, 'cause he knows it's always one open. Let the children do that. Let the children use that. Let all the children do that. Someone to act on you. Hey, that's far out, so you heard him too. Switch on the TV, relay that came up on channel 2. Look out your window, I can see his light. If we can sparkle, we may land tonight. Don't tell your mama, or you'll get us locked up and tight. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, just get out and come with what he told me. Let the children do that. Let the children do that. Let all the children do it. Starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He told us not to blow it, cause he knows it's all with what he told me. Let the children do that. Let the children do that. Let all the children do that.
No press.
Huge.